And good morning, and we're back. It's a lot of there's much confusion going on. That I think the American public wants to talk about. The confusion. I'm going to bring a confusion to you. There's a couple of things. Donald Trump. I'm perplexed. That's why I'm pausing. Has apparently offered his donors private national security briefings. This is going to be a problem. Spartan says he can't believe that we're up this early. He says, you people. I think he means black people. Spartan comes to troll the black people early in the morning. Good morning, Spartan. Donald Trump offered his private donors national security briefings. Is this an issue? I want to go over that. Simultaneously, Tulsi Gabbard, I don't know if she's back walking what she said, but she's not standing on business either. So I also want to go over her original assessment of the imminent threat from Iran and what she said before a committee, I believe, on yesterday. Was it contradicting each other, or was she just not being transparent? It's always disappointing when someone you think is going to stand on business ends up not standing on business. It's just disappointing. And when we needed her to do so, it doesn't appear she did so. And at the end of the day, say what you want about Dan Bongino, but again, the man resigned. He was out. Some people say, yeah, but it wasn't fast enough. Yo, he was out. And in my opinion, he would have been out a whole lot faster if not have been asked to stay. And I don't know that part to be true, but I'm just throwing in my assumptions. The last story we're going to cover is some updates on CRISPR-Cas9. Some of the things, if you're not familiar then with CRISPR is the tool that is used to cut DNA, right? But now it's not so much cutting DNA. It has evolved, and I just want to bring that to your attention. This is Society Past Present. My name is Jamel Saladin. We're going to get into this show right now. But before we do so, I would like to introduce you to a black walnut tincture that I did. Me and my family, we made ourselves. I don't have the commercial here, but we went out. We actually hand picked the black walnuts, washed them. We aged them in an 80 proof alcohol mixed with cloves and wormwood. And this mixture is meant to give you a healthier digestive system, keeping away any type of unwanted entities in your gut. If you are interested in getting the 2-ounce bottle, you can go ahead and do so. Hit the link in the bio or in the description, and you can get that done there. All right. That being said, I'm going to read a couple of comments. It could be all trolls for all I know. And then we're going to get straight into business. We got a few people. All right. Cool. It's mostly trolls here for right now. Let's get into a couple of stories. Let's kind of start with, for whatever reason, I think I want to start with this.
They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and they would have used it long before this press conference, and we might have had a much different press conference if we had a press conference at all. But it's been amazing. The military success that we've had is truly unprecedented.
You've told your congressional colleagues that you will not sign any piece of legislation until the Save America Act is passed. Does that include the confirmation of Senator Mullen as your next DHS secretary? Does that mean a DHS funding bill? And Senator Thune said today it's not a matter of whether or not your Republican colleagues agree with the policy. It's about changing the process. In other words, getting rid of the filibuster to get there.
So in order to get it, you're going to need Democrat votes. And what we're saying is the Save America, not the SAVE Act, which nobody knew what it was, the Save America Act, the Save America Act. And that's voter ID. We want voter ID. We want to be able to see a picture of the voter. We want to be able to see that the voter is legitimate. We want, very importantly.
All right, just stop right there. There's two ways we could pretty much look at what is being presented. What do you say? What is the name of this? I want to say it right.
Prices would go up if I did this, and they've gone up probably less than I thought.
All right. Anyway, it's a Voters' Right Act that pretty much says that you will have the qualifications or the required documents, right? And that's one way to look at it, right? That he's putting this forward, saying, "Yo, I want a picture of the person that's voted," which I think we have ID. So I don't even know, but that's the skeptical part. Why would you want something different from an ID? Like if we all have ID, but I guess when it comes down to it, someone could be eligible to vote, but not eligible to drive. That's cool. You don't need a driver's license. You need an ID. Many states give just the ID portion, which I believe everyone is supposed to have anyway. Like you're supposed to have some form of ID. So I'm not sure if there's any conspiracy theory there, but I do leave room for conspiracy theory all the time, because I do believe we're being pushed into a government that is pretty much controlled by single authority. And this could be some way to usher in some form of extra control or autonomy, something that you can't see, but it's part of a bigger picture. But then again, it could not be. It could be exactly. You don't know how to take this guy. Like if he would have said this, and I think he has said this before these Iran shenanigans, then I would have been like, yeah, I'm on point. I'm with you. But nowadays, you don't know where this guy's at. You don't know what he's really up to, is what I'm saying, right? Because he may say something that sounds good. He may say something, present something that is actually needed. Because in my opinion, something is needed, because let's just take this. $20 million undocumented people were led into the United States. And there's a theory that they were led into the United States because certain states did start to change the law that you did not even need no type of ID or any of that to vote. So the theory is they were going to use most of these migrants, these illegal migrants, to cast a vote. So, in that regard, I would have been with Donald Trump. I definitely would have. But what I'm saying is my hesitancy is because this guy is erratic. You don't really know why. He's compromised. He does things for money. He has money and he still does things for money. So, I don't know.
It'd go up. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to be this quickly successful. This was a military success, the likes of which people haven't seen. We have the best military. We have the best equipment. We have, I believe, the best generals. We have the best.
All right, just stop right there. It's real skeptical that he got rid of all the military lawyers as soon as he came in. I want to look at this video right here.
I want to call everyone's attention again to this fundraising email signed by the president that Senator Kelly mentioned earlier, in which the President of the United States invites his campaign donors to, quote, claim your spot, join now to receive private national security briefings.
I don't know what that's about. If the American people can tell me what that's about, whoever's down with Trump. MAGA is not Trump. I just want you to know that. Trump has walked away from MAGA. He's walked away from the concept of making America great again. He's walked away from that concept. So MAGA cannot be Trump. But what's the deal with this? This is wild. This is about the wildest thing that I've ever seen.
I want to call everyone's attention again to this fundraising email signed by the president that Senator Kelly mentioned earlier, in which the President of the United States invites his campaign donors to, quote, claim your spot, join now to receive private national security briefings.
I don't even, that is such an anomaly. That is so contradicting. Private national, are these people security cleared because they have money? And as I have said in the past, American citizens, we're left alone. No one's coming to save you. You can love Jesus till the cows come home. He's not going to come down and straighten things out and give Donald Trump a pow-pow. Hey, I just left for a short time. What are you doing? No, I was just, no, bad Donald Trump. Bad. No, Jesus is not coming. I don't know what the Muslims believe, but I don't think Allah's coming up to save you either. I don't think it matters what the Jews believe at this point. Respectfully. So we're left here amongst ourselves to deal with this. Who will come and save you, American citizens? Now, I'm asking you this question. It is a rhetorical question, because ultimately you will have to save yourselves. That's the gist of it. However, I think it is a time to look at your own hatred for others right now, right? Others that are going through the same thing as you. I'm talking about blacks hating whites, obviously, for the things that some white people have done. Not all. But the ones who have done heinous things on this planet and are white, the other black people, they don't know how to differentiate with their anger and their rage. And vice versa. There's a lot of white people that just looks at black people as they are presented by the media. So I would like to first suggest that these images of the other races, this perception of the other races is put out there on purpose. I just want to put that out there, right? And my theory is that so that we would never work together. I lived in California for a while, and there's not a lot of Puerto Ricans, in my opinion, in California. Obviously, there's some Puerto Ricans, but I'm from New York, so here our Puerto Ricans are evident, bro. They're like there, right? They're in your face. When you go to California, it's like inside out. It's like no Puerto Ricans, but there are many Mexicans for obvious reasons. Mexico's right there. And I do believe California was once Mexico. I'm not sure. I need to look that up. When I got over there, there was so much. Now, I was new to this. And I say that because here we get along. For the most part, if you're not in jail, something's going on in jail. There's race wars and all of this. But I don't live in jail. I live in a free world. And for the most part, the Puerto Ricans are my family. These are my friends and family that I hang out with, that I laugh with. Shout out to Tico. I remember I was stuck in California, actually. It was Tico that got me home, but now that I'm thinking about it, I was fucking stuck, Tico, bro. I need to get home. Tico sent the money for the flight. But when I went to California, the blacks did not get along with the Mexicans at all. A lot of beef, a lot of tension. First thing they told me, don't date no Mexican girls. The first girlfriend I had was Mexican. Bro, what do you want me to do? Huh? I walked into a Lowe's. She smiled at me. I smiled back. We started having a conversation. Somebody's body knocking our boots. And it's on. I didn't plan this. I didn't go into this Lowe's saying, yo, I'm going to find a Mexican girl. I just went into the Lowe's and walked out with a Mexican girl. Shout out to Lupe. My point is, there always seems to be some type of tension amongst the races. And I think this is the way somebody wants it. Because if we're fighting with each other, then it's hard to really focus on the corruption that is taking place for the people who are supposed to be leading us and governing. Most of these people are elected so that we say, yeah, we trust you to go and do the right thing. And then they don't. He's going to go on and to say something else, but I want to get to this right here. This is what I want to get to. He's going to go on to say something else, but where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Right here. Now, Tulsi Gabbard, March 18th, I guess, she gave some type of hearing. Gabbard says Iran did not rebuild nuclear program after 2025 strikes, contradicting Trump. Here, it was this part here. And it's been a long time. I've been trying to find her original statement, right? The one where Trump is approached, and this is before I think we even went to war with Iran. Trump is approached somewhere, and a reporter says, well, according to Tulsi Gabbard, Iran is not an imminent threat. And he says, I don't care what she says. And I'm like, damn, isn't that the National Intelligence Director? The Director of National Intelligence. And you don't care what she says. Well, let's take a look at something else. Hegseth says Iran's nuclear program was obliterated. What we know so far about how much damage was actually done. This is June 23rd, 2025. Ballistics experts say it's too soon to determine how much damage Iran's nuclear facilities sustained and the weekend attack. On Saturday night, the United States targeted nuclear sites in Iran believed to be essential to the country's ability to produce nuclear weapons. A uranium enrichment site located in northwestern Iran, deep inside a mountain in Fardo, along with another uranium enrichment site in Natanz and the Isfahan Nuclear Technology Center used for metallic uranium production. Fine. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told reporters during an early morning briefing Sunday that the Iranian nuclear ambitions had been obliterated, describing military strikes as bold and brilliant. Then Donald Trump echoed that statement on Sunday night, writing on his social media platform Truth Social that monumental damage had been done to all of Iran's nuclear sites. Monumental damage had been done to all of Iran's nuclear sites, and in quotes, obliteration is an accurate term, Trump wrote. So I guess my question is, who holds the accountability for the incompetence? Because your entire cabinet, including yourself, sir, including yourself, Said it's done. It's over with. We obliterated, baby. It's over. It's done. They don't have anything. And yet, you turn around and you tell us that there was an imminent threat. Well, American people, let's put them to the side for a while, because clearly we're dealing with a circus act. And I call it I don't care if you are on his side or not. You have to recognize the incompetence of someone saying, no, we obliterated that. There's no more. It's over. And then coming back within weeks like, yo, they're definitely a major threat to everybody. How? With rocks? What do they have? Huh? I mean, as impressive as their wooden ballistic missiles are, and I'm not even being facetious right now. Those wooden missiles are impressive. The reason they're impressive is because I figured for you to make a missile out of wood so that it purposely evades the radar system that Israel was hoping would protect them, called their Iron Dome. Well, that's how Iran's missiles were able to circumvent their so-called Iron Dome. It was how there was the material made, the material that what the missiles were made out of, that allowed them to be circumvent the radar system. So I do think it's impressive. However, from my little bit of research, those missiles have a limited range. Some would say they might be able to reach California from a certain spot. I don't know. But I don't think that's the type of imminent danger that we were talking about. I do believe we were all on the same page when we were discussing imminent danger, and I do think we were talking about nuclear. Now, I don't know about anybody else. Can I talk freely on this? Wait, which mic is hot? Is this mic hot? Which camera's on me, first of all? Which camera? Is it this one right here? What's up, America? Let me talk to you for a second. I don't know if you're thinking the same thing. How is it that we're told that they are so dangerous and they cannot have nuclear weapons, and the first thing out of Israel's mouth, Benjamin Netanyahu, is that if we can't, end this very fast and it looks like we're about to lose, we'll just nuke you. He said that. He said that. So in my head, I'm like, bro, how are you saying they are the madmen in this situation, right? They've been working with you, showing you what you want, giving you what you want, letting you on the facilities. If I had to gauge, this guy's already talking about blowing people up. They weren't talking about none of that. I'm just going to keep it official. Do me a favor, hit the like button, because YouTube wants to play games. If I'm not talking about what YouTube wants me to talk about, if I'm not pushing the war, YouTube wants me the numbers low. YouTube, I gotta, the numbers are gonna go high anyway, baby. Whether you like it or not. You know why? Because you're a money whore. Right? And I could put $25 on this video and you're gonna push it anyway. You fucking scumbag, YouTube. Right? So stop trying to censor me and just let me talk, baby. Let me talk. Let me do my thing. Hit the like button, y'all. Don't let them do that, because I want to have real conversation this morning. Thank you for everybody that even listens to me, because you don't have to, and I do acknowledge that, and I do appreciate that. So let's just start there. And if you're just coming into the room, I want to go back real quick. This senator here is bringing up a great point.
I want to call everyone's attention again to this fundraising email signed by the president that Senator Kelly mentioned earlier, in which the President of the United States invites his campaign donors to, quote, claim your spot, join now to receive private national security briefings, to his political donors, featuring a photo of the president at a dignified transfer ceremony with a flag-draped coffin of an American service member killed in action returning to their family. And
let me just stop you right there, Mr. Ossoff. And I know you're going to say something very powerful, and I just want to put in my 2 cents. One, even. This is disgusting. And I've been listening to other broadcasts, and I guess they've been doing polls on asking the youth on whether they would go to war or not, and the overwhelming consensus is that these young 18, 19-year-olds, 20, 21, 22, they're saying, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to die in this war for this. And they saying they don't want to die, obviously. But to die over nothing is disrespectful. And when I say nothing, obviously that's oversimplified. It's not for nothing. It's for their oil. That's 100%. It's for the control of the energy. Now, this is Earth. Let's just get that clear. This is Earth. And sometimes you might be in a predicament where if it's not me, if I don't take you out, then it's going to be me eventually, right? Because it is chess. But you don't have to build up so many enemies too. See, sometimes you could be overzealous. I play poker. I play both cash poker and I play tournament poker. Anybody that has played poker on a serious level, not like, I play sometimes. No, if you're playing on a serious level, then you would know cash games you're playing totally different in tournament. Tournament, you go in there with that cash business and you're going to get your ass handed to you. Why? Because it is a time thing. In 30 minutes, the ante is going to go up. And it's going to keep going up incrementally every 30 minutes until someone wins. So that means even if you never lost a hand, but you never won a hand, you're going to end up losing just from the blinds. Right? You won't have enough to fight. You don't have enough to. They're gonna just keep bluffing the crap out of you, and you're gonna be like, I can't right now. I can't afford it. Let me fold. So what a lot of players do is their strategy is to get in fast, make some money, and then chill. Right? If you double your chip count within the first 2 rounds, then you can sit back and let all these other suckers eliminate themselves, which it looks like what China might be doing right now. China doubled up. The United States, let me remind you, China did not double up by accident. And I'm going to look at the comments in the section in a second. Let me go with it. China did not double up by accident. China doubled up because of American greed. Let me always remind you of that. We felt it was best to take advantage of globalization. We felt it was best to take advantage of the lower prices that someone else can manufacture instead of focusing on the stability and the strengths of America. If we would have just focused in on our own ecosystem and and holding CEOs accountable, no, you cannot. We won't allow you to headquarter here in the United States and then staff your entire staff, or the majority of your staff, from another country. We won't allow you to do that. We won't allow you to do that. But they were making money, and guess who they were giving that money to? They was giving the money to the politicians who were running for office. So they say, I don't, Mikey Corleone this and Mikey Corleone that, but I didn't have no problem. So our politicians end up being compromised for money. Let me put this chat over here. Good morning to everybody that's coming in the room. This morning we are talking about, I want to talk about Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard going back and forth. Is she going back and forth? And then in the second part of my show, I do want to talk about how CRISPR-Cas9 has evolved. Apparently, when it first was able to edit CRISPR, I'm talking about the tool, it was able to edit the DNA like a pair of scissors. Now, apparently, it has evolved into not having to cut or damage the DNA at all, but actually swap out the numbers, like just change the number. So if the number is a, you can change it to something else. So if it's a T, it's change it to something else. We'll take a look at that later on in the show. Right now, I want to remind everybody that me and my family, here's the thing about black walnut. Black walnut only grows, it's very seasonal. Very seasonal. So, 6 months ago, me and my family, we went out, we picked the black walnuts while they were in season, washed them. We came home, we aged them in an 80 proof alcohol with cloves and wormwood, right? And I let it sit for 6 months. And now I have the finished product. You can get this finished product. The ancients, the Native Americans, have used this same combination to clean out their gut, get a healthier environment, get those critters out of their bodies, right? So if you look in the description box, I left the link up there. All you have to do, the shipping is included, just in case you want to know. Like, yo, there's nothing for shipping. It's included. All right? You go ahead, fill out the form, and I'll get that out to you within 3 days. Right? So that's what's going on there, if anyone cares about their body. Great. Let's move on. Someone says, is this the Afro Man trial?
Call everyone's attention again to this fundraising email signed by the president that Senator Kelly mentioned earlier, in which the President of the United States invites his campaign donors to, quote, claim your spot, join now to receive private national security briefings, to his political donors, featuring a photo of the president at a dignified transfer ceremony with a flag-draped coffin of an American service member killed in action returning to their family. And the American people need to know that the President of the United States is fundraising for his political campaign and his PAC using images of American service members killed in action, and it's a disgrace.
It definitely is a disgrace if it's nothing else. If it's nothing else. Why draw on the hearts of families who've lost? Well, why draw on the hearts of people? You want the sympathy. You're showing the casket draped in an American flag, and you're missing the point that you are the reason that that person is dead. That's the crazy part. Roby, what's good, man? Roby, I've been here with mad trolls, bro. Just mad trolls. Today I knight thee, Sir Roby. Yeah. Today you are knighted, Roby. Take him out, man. Use your wrench wisely. Use your wrench wisely, but go off. I give you 2 cannons today, Roby. Use that goddamn wrench. Whoever you see fit to get the hell out of here, get them up out of here. Get them up out of Dodge.
Now, Director Gabbard, I'd like to reground this in your core responsibilities. Under the law, you are responsible for providing national intelligence to the President, correct?
Yes.
And to the heads of executive branch departments and agencies, yes?
Yes.
And to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and senior military commanders?
Across the IC, yes.
And to the Senate and the House and relevant committees, correct?
Yes.
And the law states that the national intelligence you provide to Congress, quote,
Oh no, Roby, don't do anything. If you're driving, my friend, please, 2 hands on the wheels, look ahead. Just listen to me, Roby. Don't worry about it. I can handle this. If you're stationary, that's okay. But if you're driving, please, sir. We're good. Once you get stationed, you understand? But not while you're driving.
quote, should be timely, objective, and independent of political considerations, correct?
Yes.
And you noted in your opening statement you're here fulfilling a statutory responsibility and that your testimony, quote, represents the IC's assessment of threats,
That's right.
correct? In that opening statement, as submitted to the committee in advance of this hearing, stated that as a result of last summer's airstrikes, quote, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And is that in fact the assessment of the intelligence community?
Yes.
So the assessment of the intelligence community is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated by last summer's airstrikes.
Yes.
In the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, there has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And that's the assessment of the intelligence community.
Yes.
The White House stated,
The thing is, Donald Trump does not even respect the intelligence, the intelligence community. And you know what I also might cover today? I covered Joe Kent yesterday. By the time I got off my live, the FBI had put out that they are putting Joe Kent under investigation. This is how stupid this thing gets right now. Right? This is why I just want to talk to American citizens, right? Never mind the bots in my chat. I don't need bots over here. I got mad bots this morning, right? Why? Because of what I'm talking about. And apparently they don't want everyone to mobilize and be able to think for themselves because they know they're doing wrong. Now, when I read Joe Kent's resume, I thought I was reading the wrong thing because I was like, nah, I want the I'm looking for the National Counterterrorism Director, right? That's what the former National Counterterrorism Center Director. But I was reading all this stuff before it even got to he had became the National Counterterrorism Director. I'm like, yo, this dude is something like a big deal. He's sort of a big deal. And in fact, I would say Joe Kent was the real deal. He's the real deal. Hold on. Let me see if I can go get this man's resume real quick. Give me 1 second. So you don't think I'm out here perpetrating a fraud. Joe Kent. Let's see what we come up with here. It says Joseph Clay Kent is an American politician, former United States Army warrant officer, former Central Intelligence Agency paramilitary officer, who also served as the director of National Counterterrorism Center, only for a year, in which President Trump would go on to say that he thought he was very weak on security. But again, this is a man who President Trump can't be in his right faculties either. So I take everything he said with a grain of salt.
On March 1st of this year that this war was launched and was, quote, a military campaign to eliminate the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, end quote. That's a statement from the White House. Quote, the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime. Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was an imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime?
The intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment capability.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False.
And
This
he
is the
made that
worldwide. This is the
determination.
worldwide threat.
Nice try, Tulsi, but why are you trying to save this guy? Here's the thing, Tulsi. There's other people at stake here. There's actually Americans here at stake. And I don't trust politicians, but you got to take a question at its face value. Either it's yes or no or true or false. That's just it. So what's the deal? What's with the only person that can assess if something is an imminent threat is the president? What are you talking about? You sound crazy, my girl.
Yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False.
And he
This is the
made that
worldwide. This is the
determination.
worldwide threats hearing where you present to Congress national intelligence, timely, objective, and independent of political considerations. You've stated today that the intelligence community's assessment is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated and that, quote, there had been no efforts since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. Was it the
So where does the incompetence lie again? Is it you, Tulsi? Should we all blame this on you? Should you go down in history as an incompetent, good-looking baddie? Should you start doing stupid-ass shows like Love and Hip Hop after this? Huh? You care that much about I was about to call him Dr. Trump, like Dr. Dre. You care that much about Trump that you'll fall on the sword? Get a job at Hooters, hang it up? Is that all you're good for? Is fucking eye candy, Tulsi? Because I had put you a bit higher than that. Yes, the fucking streak in the hair does it for me. I'm not gonna lie. I like that shit that you got going on. But you're compromised. You're bad news now, baby. Straighten your shit out. You're bad news. I don't want to see you listen, resign or tell the fucking truth. Or beat it. Or after this, I wouldn't give a shit if I seen you at Hooters. Pam Bondi's a lost cause. You understand? We understand who she is. Fully. I understand who Pam Bondi is. She's not changing. I never had hope in Pam Bondi anyway. So it's no disappointment. There's two no disappointments here. And that's Pete Hegseth. I have no disappointment in Pete Hegseth because he is the exact scoundrel who I thought he was. I thought he was a dirtbag before they hired him. I thought he was a dirtbag now. That's it. He's a cocksucker. Pam Bondi, I had no fucking hope for Pam Bondi. I did believe in Dan Bongino and Tulsi Gabbard. You was out here talking that talk. I guess it's easy for everybody to talk that talk until they put into position, and then when you have to show signs of integrity, you fucking fold.
Intelligence community's assessment that nevertheless, despite this obliteration, there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime. Yes or no?
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the
Here's the
president
problem.
based on a volume
No,
of
it is
information
precisely
that he receives.
It is precisely your responsibility to determine what constitutes a threat to the United States. This is the Worldwide Threats hearing, where, as you noted in your opening testimony, quote, you represent the IC's assessment of threats. You are here to represent the IC's assessment of threats. That's a quote from your own opening statement. And so my question is, as you're here to present the IC's assessment of threats, was it the assessment of the intelligence community that, as the White House claimed on March 1st, there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime? Yes or no?
Once again, Senator, the intelligence community has
Listen, Tulsi, take back the comment about Hooters. On second analysis of things, it's not even going to work at Hooters. However, that takes nothing away from me still thinking you a baddie. You understand? Because you got it going on. But you all compromise. And if you're not with me, then you're against me. And that's just the way it is. Don't try to seduce me with your siren appearance. I'm good. By the way, that's a bad suit you got on. However, we got to stay focused.
provided the inputs that make up this annual threat assessment.
You won't answer the
It is
question.
the nature of the imminent threat that the president has to make that determination based on a collection and volume
You're here
of
to be
information and
timely.
intelligence that he is
You're here-
provided with.
You're here to be timely, objective, and independent of political considerations.
Exactly what I'm doing.
No, you're evading a question
Yeah.
because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House. Let me ask you about your presence in Fulton County on January 28th of this year. You were present at the FBI's raid on the Fulton County Elections Office on January 28th, correct?
I was present for part of the FBI exercising a warrant approved by a municipal judge.
Yes,
to
and the
obtain
FBI was there executing, the
investigation.
FBI was there executing that warrant to seize ballots and materials associated with the 2020 election, correct?
Yes.
And are you aware that members of this committee have already opened inquiries into your election-related activities?
Yes.
And are you aware that your general counsel and deputy general counsel have already provided testimony to this committee regarding those activities?
Yes.
On February 2nd, you sent a letter to Senator Warner regarding your presence at the raid. Was that letter accurate?
I don't recall the exact date, but if I sent a letter that had my signature, it was accurate.
You stated in the letter that your presence at the raid was, quote, requested by the president, correct?
Yes.
When did the president request your presence at the raid?
The day of the raid, the warrant execution commencing.
The day of the raid.
Yes.
He called you on the phone?
I'm not going to disclose how the message was delivered, but it was a request from the president and his administration to go and help oversee this warrant being executed, along with the deputy director of the FBI.
Is it your role to oversee-
And to thank the FBI agents who were conducting
Is
this
it your
warrant.
role to oversee the execution of criminal warrants?
It is my role, based on statute that Congress has passed, to have oversight over election security, to include counterintelligence.
But you said
to
you
include
you oversaw the raid, correct? You just testified you oversaw the raid?
portions of it.
Okay. Did you handle any ballots or election-related materials?
No.
I'm confused. I think he's confused. I'm confused because if you oversaw the raid, how was you called the day of? To be like, yo, come on down. We got something going on. What, sir? Yeah. Just get your hiney down here. He looks like the type that would say some wild shit that is totally uncalled for during a professional moment. Like he's in a Jerky Boys movie. Like, hey, listen, sweet cheeks, just get down here. We got a raid going down. When did this take place? Click. Tulsi, you've been out the loop. And American people, I want to say this. To this day, we have no idea who was running the United States as our leader the last administration, because it wasn't Joe Biden, right? He had full-on dementia, allegedly. He was out of here. The shit I seen him doing was totally ridiculous. And I said, who the fuck is running the country? They never said. We didn't know if it was Jill Biden, it was Jean Pierre, if it was fucking BlackRock, Friends and Family. And what I can see here is that it doesn't look like President Trump's entire cabinet is in the loop. So, and you know what makes this funny? When he first ran for president, he kept on saying the shadow government. He's joined the fucking shadow government. He's joined them. He's done. He's cooked. He's over. He's fully compromised. He's not the same person that walked in the door. But don't worry, life will do that to you. Life will do that to you, and I'm pretty sure that environment there, right? It looks all innocent from the outside, but guess what? These people make movies, right? Movies have been done, and where do you think the information, the ideas for these movies come from? When they send a band of guys to come kill one lone person, set up somebody's death to make it look like an accident. I'm gonna go off on a whim and say it comes from real actual life. Good morning, everybody. We got Winter in the building. Winter, what up? I had to night Roby this morning. I gave him his wrench. There was mad bots in the chat. I didn't have time to deal with it. Winter. I don't know if you know how to. First of all, I don't even know if Winter has a. First of all, I don't think Winter has the ability. That's the thing. And now Winter has the ability. Which means I have to clean out my fucking wrench. Winter, kill anything moving. You have a wrench now. Smoke anything moving. Anybody talking stupid, take them out. I don't give a shit today. Let them ask me in the chat, yo, why'd you kick me out? They're going to ask me, yo, why'd you kick me out? I say, I didn't kick you out. Somebody else kicked you out. Yo, that's fucked up. I listen to you all the time. Then you was saying something stupid in my chat, bro. Knock it off. Blocked them.
Were inside an FBI evidence truck, correct? You were photographed inside an FBI evidence
It was an
truck.
empty truck, yes.
The president stated, quote, you looked at
Senator's time has
votes that
expired.
wanted to be checked out.
The
Is that
senator's
accurate?
time is expired.
Did you look at votes as the president
Senator
stated?
Ossoff, your time.
Your time is expired, Senator Ossoff. You should have led with that, Playboy. Fuck are you doing, Senator? God damn, I want to know the answer to this. Let me see if she answers. Probably not.
Time has expired.
You respond
can
for the
have
record?
her. No, she cannot respond
No,
because
for the record, will the director please respond for the record to that question is my
I'm
my
happy to
question.
respond to questions for the record.
Thank you, Director Gabbard.
thank you.
Oh, I don't even have the answer. Great. Fucking Senator also. Why didn't you lead with that, bro? What are you doing?
Did you brief the president if he starts a war of choice that the likely result would be that Iran would strike adjacent Gulf nations and close the Strait of Hormuz? Did you brief him on those two facts that I think have been consistently the assumptions of the intelligence community?
I have not and won't divulge internal conversations. I will say that those of us within the intelligence community continue to provide the president with all of the best objective intelligence available to inform his decisions.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False.
and
This
he
is the
made that
worldwide.
determination.
No, you're evading a question because to provide.
This one doesn't have it either. Damn. I guess I'm going to have to go read and look at the entire hearing. Good morning, everybody. We're just trying to get some clarity on what's going down in government as best as we can. Before we switch topics to the CRISPR-Cas9 topic, I want to go over a little bit how the FBI investigates Joe Kent. All right, let's do the New York Times. Let's do the New York Times. All right, cool beans. Now, Tucker Carlson had a lot to say about this last night, and he made a lot of good sense. FBI investigates Joe Kent, whose resignation over Iran war angered Trump. Yo, Trump, stop being a sucker. This doesn't even feel like America anymore. What the hell is going on? Trump is talking about any media platform that speaks out against the war may be subject to go to jail. What type of Cold World War 1940s, 50s strategy is taking place right now. What the hell is going on? Mr. Kent is under investigation for possible intelligence leak. Knock it the fuck off. Kash Patel, don't be a piece of shit, bro. Knock it off. Kash Patel, man. I didn't say nothing when you was over there in the fucking locker room pouring beer all over yourself like a goddamn imbecile. I didn't say shit about I wanted to see an audit on how you got to the goddamn Olympic Games. Even though people were saying you took a jet, you flying around the world in a fucking government jet, drinking all type of champagne, fronting. That's one thing about Indians, bro. Y'all come off real humble when y'all don't have shit. It be real divine like. You understand? I don't know. It may be the connection to the ancient gods and the Vedic stories and all of this. I don't know what it is, but y'all be humble as shit when y'all don't got shit. On the opposite spectrum, though, you guys are the fucking worst when you get some money. I tell you that. Indians are the fucking worst when you give them a little bit of money. Oh, shit. You've never seen a cockier people in your entire life. Like, yo, Hassan, this is not you. I'm not having the time right now, my friend. I have to go. You say you invited me in. Yeah, but you are 2 minutes early, my friend. I'm early. I'm not even late. I have to go, Jamal. Thank you. You guys are cocky as shit when you get a little money. Kash Patel, this ain't you, baby. Now, I know Kash Patel's like, yo, Jamel, I'm American. Fuck all that, though. You American citizen. You of a Dravidian blood. The shit is in your blood to get arrogant as soon as you get a couple of coins in your pocket. It is not even up to you. The shit is in your DNA. It's in your characteristics. Give you one fucking job, you lose your whole goddamn mind. Start flying around the world on private jets for the government on the taxpayers' money. You doing everything except your goddamn job. All of yous. Pouring beer. You was pouring beer on yourself like you had participated in the actions. Did you see the replay of that video, my boy? You're not on the team, Kash Patel. You was not on that team. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know whose team you're on right now. Because Joe Kent, I'm going to go off and say he's on our team. Right? Now, I ain't going to say Joe Kent for president. He was in the CIA. Let's calm way down. Let's calm this whole shit way down. Joe Kent was in the CIA. This shit could be a whole psyop that's going on right now. I have to think like that. This shit is chess and not checkers. I already got caught out there with musical chairs with Donald Trump. He caught me like that. Rocked me to sleep for 4 years straight. Huh? I said, nah, the man did the right thing the first term. Why wouldn't he do the right thing the second term? Because he's out here sucking Israel cock. That's why. I didn't consider that. I didn't consider that. And now, American lives are at risk because I did not consider that. Rock me to sleep. Soldiers are dying in an unsanctioned war because I did not consider that. He's out here raising money for private donors in exchange for national security briefings to national donors. That I don't know if that's how that shit works. What is going on? Cash Patel, you do whatever this man says? Well, that's the difference between you and these other. And I'm going to tell you something. Fuck anybody that gives these people any type of accolades after this whole thing is over. Right? Any type of accolades. You see him, oh, Cash Patel, good. Thank you for your service. No, fuck that guy. Tulsi Gabbard is 1 gram away. This is an inch away. Less than an inch. For me saying fuck Tulsi Gabbard too. But I'm not there yet. Am I biased because she looks way good? Possibly, bro. Huh? If you wanted that type of bias, Cash Patel, you should have been born a female. But don't worry. She's cruising for a bruising. She should resign. If she wants to protect any type of integrity, reputation, career ahead, just fucking get out of here. Get out of this mess. Get out of here. And I think that's why a lot of people were just like, nah, I'm out of here. Because I had bigger plans for myself. I'm not going down with this ship. They're doing things that are illegal. They're doing things that are immoral. I'm done. The FBI has opened an investigation into Joe Kent, a counterterrorism official who has... What is this word? Pillared? Nah. What the hell is this word? What? This video can't be played on YouTube. The fuck are you talking about, my boy?
Pilloried.
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 Really? Pilloried. Simple past tense and past participle of pillory. Oh. Pillory means to publicly criticize someone in a very harsh way, often exposing them to ridicule or scorn. Shit! The FBI has opened an investigation into Joe Kent, a counterterrorism official who was pilloried by the White House after he quit over the war with Iran for possible leaking sensitive intelligence, according to 2 people with knowledge of the situation. The investigation predated the resignation on Tuesday of Mr. Kent, the director of National Counterterrorism Center, according to those people who discussed a continuing investigation on the condition of anonymity. Get the fuck out of here. Why the anonymity if the investigation truly did take place? Obviously, we would want to know. When did this investigation start? Obviously, everybody in the room is intelligent enough to kind of assume what the other person is thinking. So you would naturally come up and say, nah, I know what you're thinking. The investigation started way before the resignation. Shut up. Tell the anonymous person to step forward. Disclosure of the inquiry, which was reported earlier by Semaphore, came after a coordinated Trump administration effort to discredit Mr. Kent as untrustworthy and disloyal. I don't trust. How is someone who is untrustworthy and disloyal, President Trump, you are disloyal to the United States of America by putting Israel first? You have no business judging someone else, criticizing someone else. You are not in that position, sir. You are not in that position. You are a treasonous traitor to the United States. You definitely. Kash Patel is riding on your heels. This is a fact. Dan Bongino got the hell up out of Dodge before shit hits the fan. Tulsi Gabbard is sitting there like a sitting duck, like she don't know which way to go. Now, if this was the case, in all actuality, Joe Kent reported to Tulsi Gabbard. Why is Tulsi Gabbard never in the loop? They just talked about a raid that took place, and Tulsi Gabbard was informed. She says she oversaw the entirety of the raid. She was informed to come to the raid the day of the fucking raid. How? Tulsi Gabbard, you are outside the loop, baby girl. Get away from these people. They are treasonous traitors to the United States. This shit is not going to be well if America falls. It's not going to be well for you. No one's going to want to see you in the streets at all. What can the fucking few security guards do if a mob ran down you and your security guard? I'm just asking. And the same goes for everybody else. You could pluck off a few here, a few there. This shit turned into The Walking Dead, my boy. Speaking of turning into The Walking Dead, let's make a transition. Last night, I watched 60 Minutes, and it disturbed my soul for a couple of reasons. Listen, bro. I'm going to say this one time only. Your collar's too big. You're way too professional to be out here with a baggy fucking collared shirt. All right? You need to knock this shit off. Get a shirt that fits. I know you're a little bit older. You're like, yo, Jamel, I like a... Shut up! Get a shirt that fits, my boy. And I watched this shit with such pride because I didn't watch it solely from a black man's perspective. I just watched it from an American perspective, and I was just proud of these youths. And then as a human being, I was really proud of all the youth across the world who participated in this competition, because it was a global competition. So every young person I was proud of because I seen their intelligence and just the way they were responding to certain questions that was asked. I said, man, these youngins are smart. And you have to, that doesn't come that's just not like, yo, yeah, her father was smart, her mom's was smart. No, they took initiative. That being said, as a black man, I definitely looked around the room to see representation of how many black youths was involved. And I'm not going to say my heart was broken, because it wasn't. However, frustration was there because we're so fucking focused on bullshit. When it comes to ghetto demographics, it pisses me off, right? Because the shit we be talking about don't amount to a hill of beans. I'm talking about a hill of beans. Not only does it not amount to a hill of beans, it can't help out nobody on this planet, right? Because as I'm watching this show, and I'm going to press play in a second, I said, what if the world actually did go into a apocalyptic state? These same people that are involved in shenanigans, fuckery, tomfoolery, they wouldn't be able to feed themselves. They don't know how to get water. They don't know how to grow plants. They don't know how to do shit on the survival level except hurt the other person. But what if the other person doesn't have anything of value? Now what? Right? What if the geographic zones were purely zoned off and all the people that had any type of intellectual value, they're on one side and you're on the other side? What are you going to do? Right? So I'm watching people, they're still acting like the world is not morphing into something else. They're still not taking conversations seriously. It's all a fucking joke. And I can see if what I was saying was so sci-fi that, oh, Jamel, we're not going to get there for another 100 years. Bitch, they're talking about smart cities. Stupid. Just Google any fucking smart city. You don't even have to put it in a city. But I can tell you LA will be a smart city. But put in smart city. They're already gearing up for what I'm talking about. So it is very realistic that the things I'm saying, other think tanks have already thought about. And I'm going to be honest with you even more. Why would they put the valuable people? Think about this. If you can't be used, you're useless. Always remember that. If you can't be used, you're useless. And I tell my daughter that every fucking week. Because I want her to beef up in her math. Now, she told me yesterday, I'm already getting A's in math, Daddy. I said, that's not good enough. My wife said, it's not good enough. What do you want? I want her on the fucking in the honors class. She's not in the highest mathematics. She's getting A's on a certain level. So I had to tell my wife right now, just back me on this. Don't let her feel comfortable. You making her feel comfortable. Because I know if you can't be used, you're useless, and I am not always going to be here. I'm going to die one day, hopefully before you. And I want to know that you're on the side that they consider valuable. Because let me tell you something right now. There's going to be so many people that don't know shit, that was proud not to know shit. Oh, they never took intelligence serious enough. Don't worry. They got a place for you. They have a place for you. When they start zoning this shit off, and trust me, you're thinking, that's bullshit. Okay. Aren't they putting easy passes in random places throughout the city? Yes or no? Don't say nothing. Yes or fucking no. Did they just not put an easy pass dead ass in the center of Midtown? What do you think that's for? To gain a couple of dollars? Nah, they just don't want people. Aha. Go ahead, finish the fucking sentence. Finish the sentence, stupid. They don't want people where? They don't want undesirables to come down past a certain point, right? Yeah, that's because we just getting started. Stupid. We just getting started. We have not even talked about the implications of biometrics and biointelligence not only keeping you from a certain area, but maybe you sneak in. But guess what? You will be recognized and then you will be punished. So what they're saying is stay in your fucking area with the undesirables. Okay? Just in case you thought I was talking some Star Trek stupid shit, let me just lay it out for you so you can see what's gonna happen. So stay away from these people that only want to have dumbass conversations about God knows what that cannot help you out later on. Because what's going down? 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. These are 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And we look around the room, we see mostly Asians. Not Asian just as in Chinese or Japanese. I'm talking Asian as in India and Oriental. So when I talk to the black community, we have to put the pressure on our own community to raise the bar. That's why nobody likes me, and that's why I don't give a fuck. You understand? I could hold my own. Thank God I was already where these people are at. So nobody fucking shakes me up. I'm good. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm ready for this position. So a lot of them, he not like us. No, we know that, stupid. I know I'm not fucking like you. But let me tell you something. What you bragging about won't amount to a hill of beans. In real life. Not in your fantasy world of I'm a thug nigga and I don't play those games. Nobody gives a fuck. They already locked your dumb ass up once. They'll do it again. I'll help them, stupid. Don't play games. You play stupid games, you will win a stupid prize that you cannot win. I am so tired of the machismo negative aura of the black man. The ghetto black man. Thinking he running shit. Everybody just lets you think you're running shit. Because they don't want nothing to do with you. They don't have time to involve themselves in shit that's not going to amount to $1. Shit that don't amount to progress, success. In which Twilight Zone world would you go out, do something negative, get negative results, and think you fucking won? Are you kidding me? So, I do not want this for our younger children who are developing minds, developing spirits, developing their characteristics, right? They are still shapeable. We still have the power to convince them to see potential in themselves. We still have that. If that's the least you could do. If that's the least you could do as an individual, like you sound, I can't teach. I don't know math and all this other shit. Lord, that's fine. I don't need you to be a fucking scholar. What I need you to do, though, is recognize that you spent 20 years in prison and you don't want to see that man spend 20 years in prison. You understand? If you could just do that for me, get him to see that if he's can't be used, he's useless. Get her to see she's more than just opening up her legs. Protect her from fucking older predators that's looking to do things to a younger girl. We have to start to take accountability. Black community, you get on my nerves because you have this thing where you don't want to call the police, and yet you allow anything to happen in your community. I'm not with none of your stupid rhetoric. I'm not with none of your dumb shit. Yo, don't fuck with the police. Nigga, fuck you. What's your name, matter of fact, before I say fuck you? What's your full name? I call the police on your stupid ass for being stupid. Because if you're not going to protect your community, then do not tell people not to call the police. You're doing nothing to protect your own community, and yet you're pushing away help. You don't like the relationship between you and the police? There's ways to resolve that. It is not by cursing them out, telling them to suck your dick. That's definitely not the way. There's other ways. There's a bunch of programs, and there are people in the hood that are working on a street level. Shout out to Mandu the Warrior. He is working on a street level, where he works with the youth, right? And he has the ability to convey messages to administrations in these municipalities. He has that ability. So go talk to I would consider him a chieftain. So what I'm basically saying is talk to your chieftains, right? Chieftains, build these relationships with these youngins. Don't try to be their fucking cool ass unk. That's not what they need. They need to hear something that's real. Because later on they're going to fucking regret all their decisions. And you could have at least helped them avoid that situation. Let's continue. You see what he said? That's the epitome of my conversation. So shout out, I think it's Winter. I and forgive me, my glasses can't help me to read some words, but I think she said though. Man, damn, I can't make out that first word. But it says kids don't need college; they get different kind of education, and they choose how. I think ours are educated. It's not so much about college, in my opinion, because there's so many different angles that you can prove to someone that you're qualified for a position, for to do some work. Like, there's so many different ways nowadays. If you actually know how to do something, you could go get a certificate, right? You could do the certificate online now. Parents, you could get your 10th grader, 11th grader, 12th grader to start now tell them don't wait to get a LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn acquired a company called lynda.com. Lynda.com was a company that would teach you all type of professional teach you all type of professions from start to end, right? If you wanted to be a programmer, if you wanted to do this, they would teach you, but their style of doing it was videos. So that was what made them different. They would show you detailed videos from beginning to end and courses. And then they would charge you every month because you're not going to finish one of these in 1 month. And that's how I was able to teach a lot of classes when I had these contracts with the schools and they would call me in, right? And then sometime I would upfront my own money. I mean, I was charging enough to get a bulk license for a lot of these softwares. But then the LinkedIn had acquired lynda.com. So if you go over to lynda.com, or if you go over to LinkedIn right now, you can pretty much still take courses, especially if you get a subscription to LinkedIn. They have these courses that you can just take. I've took a bunch of courses on Google. I got a bunch of certificates, and then they put it right on your resume on LinkedIn. So again, there's different ways to show somebody, hey, I know what I'm talking about, because they're gonna test you anyway, right? So they don't. I don't think they have to go to college. Why waste the money? Just get the knowledge. So I'm not pushing college. I'm pushing actual intelligence. I want the children to be able. That's the meaning of sustainability. Why have sustainability goals, but we don't have people in place to sustain them? These people don't know how to build a house. They don't know how to make a circuit. They don't know how to change oil in the car. They don't know how to change a light bulb. He just said something I'm talking about. So listen, I'm an artist. I have the artist creativity bug. But that's not all I'm going to be doing. I'm not just running around writing poetry all day long. If you are a rapper, then you're a poet. You're a poet. I just wanted to... I have to strip away the rapper shit. Because the rapper in your head comes with bitches and money. Right? That's what's in your head right now. Marijuana, private jets. Shut up. You're a poet, my nigga. How many poets do we need on this fucking earth? Black community. Which mic is on me? Which camera's on me? This camera? Are you fucking kidding me? How many poets do you think we fucking need running around? You can't be, nigga. I never was like, fuck, I need a poet right now. I can't muster the words. Did this look like the Book of Eli? If I just had the words. Oh, God. Oh, God. If I just had the words. We don't need poets, bro. So, I'm not telling you to stop your poetry, but I would remind you of a great poet. He once said, ice, ice, baby. Too cold, too cold. Ice, ice, baby. Too cold, huh? Yeah. Fucking Vanilla Ice. I rock with Vanilla Ice. Why? Why do I rock with Vanilla Ice? Why would I rock with Vanilla Ice? I rock with Vanilla Ice because he was one of the first. And it was probably more before him. I'm just telling you why I rock with Vanilla Ice. Dudes be mad. Yo, fucking with the white boy. Yo, what's all of this, my man? Why all the racial hostility? I'm just telling you why I rock with Vanilla Ice. He had a contingency plan. I only know this because he had a show that I used to watch. I used to rock with his show. Vanilla Ice was out here buying houses, old houses, rebuilding them with him and his mans. They would do what they could do. And then they would flip them shits for bread, for a lot of money. Said, God damn, Vanilla Ice, you wasn't too cool for school? To get in the excavator, to get in the loader, and do your thing? Hell no. I'm gonna get out here and get that money. God damn, Vanilla Ice. That's what I'm talking about. And guess what? He still goes on tour to this day and does his little. He does shows. I don't know about tour. Tour's a bit egregious of a word. He still does spot dates where he gets out there and he does his poetry. Ice, ice, baby. Too cold, oh. And then guess what? He get back to the bag. There's nothing wrong with your poetry. But we have to be able to see that if you can't be used, you're useless. So is there a necessity, is what I want to ask, for poetry? Is there a necessity for shelter? There's definitely a need for shelter. There's no need for spoken word. So what we walk away with is we teach our kids is, no, yeah, I like your raps, bro. Now, what do you got on the flip side? And I don't want to hear nothing, yo, I got a few pounds floating around in the streets. My man got the credit cards. Yo, shut the fuck up! What do you have? What do you know how to do? You know how to put up drywall? If not, I gotta call one of my homeboys to help you. You know what I'm saying? What are you into? What you think you might be into? Auto mechanics? Plumbing? We gotta start having real deal conversations that don't bore the youth, right? Because they're not trying to hear some straight preacher shit. But it's just about being real. So you don't gotta kill their dreams just in case they still want to be the America's next top poet. That's cool. But you still gonna have to learn how to pay rent, pay your bills, budget your money, and live amongst others without conflict. That's another big one. I was proud of them. Long story short, they ended up going to a conference, I think, in Paris, where they competed with like many other countries. I want to say close to 100 other countries, or over that, and they wanted to come in the top 10, and they did come within the top 10. They did not walk away in first place, second, or third, but they came in the top 10. And bigger than that, they did receive an award for best software. So what we're talking about here is mathematics, right? So every time I explain to my daughter why I want her involved in mathematics is everything. Mathematics, I was watching someone, in my head, everything is mathematics. So when I was watching a fight the other day, and it was a simple block, right? So if somebody was throwing a hook that way, right, what I would do, instead of blocking it with this arm, see, they're coming around here, instead of blocking it this way, right, I would block it here, hit him in the neck, bow, right? But in my head, it's still mathematics. I'm thinking about the distance, right? When you can use that. The effectiveness of it, depending on how far you back to how close are you back. How closer you are to the person, the proximity. These are the things that's going on in my head. Everything is mathematics to me, right? So even though they ended up winning a award for best software, that's still mathematics. You want to know how? Where's my book? Which book do I got to show you? That one right down there. A couple of books down here. Nope, not that one. This is not the one I was looking for. I got a lot of books over here. Oh. I think it's on the floor right next to me. All right, this is one. This is not it, though. This is not the book I was looking for. So that says mathematics. Made simple. But that's not the book I was looking for. This might be it. It's not it either. I'm gonna get to my point in a second. Object-oriented software engineering. Right. You definitely want to get your kids something like this. Coding for the beginners. Right? Now, when they start coding, what you're gonna realize is, and I learned this the hard way, and I failed in college. I failed my first Java class, and that shit beat the shit out of me because I didn't understand. My professors was upset because I was actually, they was like, if you need a little help, you can come meet me during my break. They didn't have a break because I was there every time they went to take a break. I was there asking for help. They was so frustrated with me. And you know what could have eliminated that frustration? I didn't understand math. It wasn't until years later on when I started studying math. This is after fucking college. I was like, yo, maybe I should go back and study math. And then I realized, holy shit, this is why I didn't understand programming. I didn't understand math. Because the first thing you're going to have to truly understand is the algebra 1 and 2. Calculus, physics. Again, me being from the urban, what we call the hood. I'm from there. I did whatever they talking about doing. I did that shit already. I'm not impressed. I don't care nothing about that. I also know that shit doesn't amount to a hill of beans. If I needed to build a house, these guys don't know how to fucking build a house, right? If we all came together and was like, listen, guys, we're on our own. There's no police department. There's no this, that, and the third. The best we're good for is being vigilantes, and then that won't even really be good because we're such wolves that eventually we will turn on each other. Why the fuck would I want to be around people like this, right? I want to be around smart people. And you could be a smart person and from the urban community. Whoever set that lie out wanted these people to think you're fucking stupid and you're not good enough for nothing but just being some type of violent creature. And to see other people perpetuate that idea, it's because I got shit to do today. A lot of shit to do. And speaking of shit to do, let's do a commercial break. 6 months ago, me and my family, we went out and we picked black walnuts while they were still lime green, right? They were bright green. We went, we picked them, brought them home, we washed them. I mixed them with 80 proof alcohol, wormwood, and cloves. I let that sit for 6 months. Now, I'm ready to start shipping out the black walnut, cloves, and wormwood combination. This is seasonal, so you can't. I don't know what you're ordering offline when you order it. I don't know if it's coming from China. What I do know is black walnuts are seasonal. So I don't know if they're giving you black walnuts. I don't know. I'm not saying they're not. I know for a fact what I'm giving you because I aged them in these mason jars. So I know what I'm giving you. I know the ancients used these, and also the Native Americans, but also going back to ancient Egypt. I know they would use these ingredients to cleanse their gut. They would use them for gut issues, to get rid of any desirables within the digestive environment. This would sometimes, they claim, give you, being very careful with my words for reasons, not to trick you, but because there are some untrustworthy people out here that are looking always to take advantage of people. Right? So they would claim it gives you more energy, more strength. If you look in my description, there's a link to purchase this, and the shipping is included, so don't worry about that. I will already have your shipping address because that is on the form, and within 3 days we will be mailing this out to you. This is the 2-ounce black walnut clove wormwood combination. Now, that being said, I want to I think that I'm looking for the all right. There's some news about CRISPR that I want to hold on. I'm looking at the dates. Give me 1 second. Let's try this one right here. I think I got this one already, but breakthrough in 2025. I'll read this one. Let's go. I don't know if this is the one I'm looking for. All right, this is CRISPR 2.0, next gen. I think this is one of it. All right, so introduction to CRISPR 2.0 and its evolution. What is CRISPR technology? CRISPR, short for clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, is a groundbreaking gene editing tool that allows scientists to cut, replace, or modify DNA with unprecedented accuracy. Initially adapted from a bacterial immune system, CRISPR-Cas9 became famous for enabling genetic changes in living organisms with a precision never seen before. Now in 2025, we've entered the era of CRISPR 2.0. Okay, I think this might be the one. A next generation leap that builds on the foundation of CRISPR-Cas9, but goes much further in precision, efficiency, and safety. The journey from CRISPR-Cas9 to CRISPR 2.0. CRISPR-Cas9 was revolutionary, but it had limitations, off-target effects, delivery challenges, and concerns over long-term impacts. Researchers around the world work to evolve this tech into what is now known as CRISPR 2.0, a system that integrates base editing, prime editing, and advanced delivery platforms to provide targeted, efficient, and safer gene modifications. Okay. Precision targeting and reduced off-target effects. Features enhance accuracy, significantly reducing the chances of editing unintended sections of DNA. And if they don't go into this, I'll go into it. This is possible thanks to engineered Cas enzymes like Cas12. All right, base editing. Okay, they're not really saying why. So what I want to do is, give me a second. I'm going to see if they got a video on CRISPR 2.0. Because I want someone to explain what I understand about CRISPR 2.0, which is instead of editing it and, like they said, damaging parts of the DNA that you didn't really want targeted anyway, you didn't want to affect that, they have something now where CRISPR can actually just change the letters. And I want that explained. And then what that means. How long is this video? Hold on. 51 minutes. Never. 5 minutes. CRISPR gene editing revolutionized. That's 10 months ago. 5 minutes. CRISPR 2.0 prime editing to heal 90%. 3 minutes. There we go. We done found our video, ladies and gentlemen.
Since its invention in 2012, CRISPR has been the one and only gene editing tool for treating people with genetic disorders. In late October 2019, Dr. David Liu at the Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard in Cambridge, Massachusetts, introduced a new technology called prime editing that in theory may correct 89% of the more than 75,000 disease-associated DNA variants listed in ClinVar, a public database developed by the U.S. National Institutes of Health. The technique uses methods similar to the earlier CRISPR technique, but with higher accuracy. However, according to the molecular biologist Eric Sontheimer at the University of Massachusetts Medical School in Worcester, prime editing may not be able to make the very big DNA insertions or deletions that CRISPR-Cas9 is capable of, so it's unlikely to completely replace the well-established editing tool. Different flavors of genome editing platforms are still going to be needed for different types of edits. So what is the difference between CRISPR and prime editing? CRISPR, Cas9, and prime editing both work by cutting DNA at a specific point in the genome. CRISPR sometimes changes genes it shouldn't. With prime editing, researchers have far better control over the type of edit they want, because unlike CRISPR, with prime editing, scientists do not need to cut both DNA strands, and the technique doesn't immediately activate the cell's repair system that is prone to errors. CRISPR technology requires intervention for every specific type of DNA editing. Delete a gene, insert new DNA code, or DNA letter substitutions. Prime editing, on the other hand, can achieve all three functions without additional modification. Nevertheless, scientists warn that more research is needed before prime editing can be safe.
He said it, but he said it so fast. He said, let's bring it back.
Scientists do not need to cut both DNA strands, and the technique doesn't immediately activate the cell's repair system that is prone to errors. CRISPR technology requires intervention for every specific type of DNA editing. Delete a gene, insert new DNA code, or DNA letter substitutions.
DNA letter substitution. All right. So now we take that. We go over to ChatGPT. And we ask ChatGPT, can you explain how CRISPR 2.0 uses actually this Yeah, this is actually one of the most important upgrades in gene editing, and it fits perfectly with the kind of precision control narrative. All right. First, what letter replacement even means. Your DNA is written in 4 codes. I know that. A, T, C, G. Think of it like a massive instruction manual made of billions of letters. A single typo like A instead of G can cause disease. Correct. CRISPR 1.0, the original CRISPR-Cas9, worked like molecular scissors. It would cut the DNA strand. Then the cell would try to repair it. Scientists could disable a gene or insert something new, but messy and unpredictable. Yeah, you can't make good mutants like that. You understand? However, because don't think they're not going to make mutants. Don't think the X-Men is not coming to reality. They will make mutants. I'm just letting you know. I know it. The things I say on my channel sound so crazy to you. I talk about reptilians. I talk about mutants. You're going to find out. CRISPR 2.0, letter replacement, base editing. Now, this is where it gets surgical. Instead of cutting DNA, CRISPR 2.0 can directly swap one letter for another. No cutting, no chaos. The two main types of letter swaps, cytosine, base editing, C to the T, changes C to T or G to A on the opposite strand. Right. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. I'm saying that's crazy because I know A and T to always go together and C and G always to go together. We'll get back to that in a second. How it actually works. CRISPR 2.0 uses modification system. A dead Cas enzyme. I don't really need to know that. What I want to know right now is, I thought A and T always goes together and C and G always goes together. You're absolutely right, and that's a key point. Let's clear it up without confusing the bigger picture. DNA pairing rule. You're correct. In normal DNA structure, A pairs with T, C pairs with G. This is called base pairing. The two strands of DNA match each other like a zipper. Yes. So, how can CRISPR change one letter? Good question, because if you change one letter, wouldn't it break the pairing? That's what I'm thinking. What CRISPR 2.0 base editing really does, it doesn't just swap out a letter randomly. It chemically converts one base into another, and then the cell fixes the pairing naturally. Wow. So we've come a long way. Example, C to T editing. Let's say you start out with one strand C, the opposite strand G. So it's C to G. Now CRISPR base editing changes C to T on one strand. Now you temporarily have a mismatch. T and G doesn't match properly. The cell notices something is wrong. It repairs the opposite strand to match. G becomes A. Oh. Shit is crazy. Alright. What I want to say in my ending of my show is this. Apparently they have the ability right now to eliminate many diseases. So why don't they do it? I want to show you something else before I go. Because that's going to be a question in your head. You're going to be like, so why, if they could do it, why can't they do it? Let me show you something. Don't nobody go nowhere. Hold on. Here we go. BBC. BBC. There we go. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Here we go. Hit the like button for your boy. Hit the like button for your boy. My name is Jamel Saladin. This is Society, Past, Present, and Future. I would like to consider myself a sociologist. Why? Because I have a tiny bachelor's degree in sociology, right? And I do enjoy that. So instead of doing whatever with my YouTube channel, I'm just like, you know what? I like doing sociology. Let's talk sociology all day and night. And whoever comes over and finds my channel, they find my channel, and that's that. So hit the like button. Do subscribe to my channel, right? Now, I want to tell you, this was 2019. This might have went over a lot of people's head, but it never went over mine. China jails gene-edited baby scientists for 3 years. This is around the same time your boy Jack, the Asian dude who owns Alibaba, I believe he was on the run too. Anyway, you know, I was trying to pay attention, walk and chew gum at the same time. And I remember this story, and many of you might have remembered this story, or many of you might be like, yo, I never even heard of this, bro. What is this about? This is why you can't be in a circle full of dumb people. You understand? Don't always be dissing nerds, people that want to be themselves. First of all, I'm not worried about being myself because I have the ability to smack the shit out of you and still be a nerd at the same time, right? A proud nerd. That's rare, though. That's rare. And what I want these kids to be proud nerds that don't let people pick on them, right? Because you just got to know shit in this world. Anyway, a scientist in China who said he had created the world's first gene-edited babies has been jailed for 3 years. His name is He Jiankui. I don't know how to say that. And I didn't mean to offend you, hey. But I don't know how to say your name. However, I do want to bring to the fact that He Jiankui was convicted of violating a government ban by carrying out his own experiments on human embryos to try to give them protection against HIV. Not try. He gave them protection. He created these babies and they were immune to goddamn HIV. He was globally condemned when he announced he was not globally condemned. That is a lie, BBC. Who condemned him? Who condemned him? That is a lie. He was globally condemned when he announced his experiments and the birth of the twin babies last November. Xinhua News Agency said a third baby was also born at the same time, which had not previously been confirmed. The local government in Guangdong province said it was keeping the babies under medical observation as well as the prison sentence. He was fined 3 million yuan, which is roughly 430,000 at the time. The court also handed lower sentences to 2 men, Zhang Renli and Qin Zhengzhao, for conspiring with He to carry out experiments. I would like you to consider, before I go any further, that's China doing that, right? So China did that, but why didn't anybody else do it in Australia? Why didn't anybody else do it in Canada? Why didn't anybody else do it in the United States? Why didn't anybody do it in Africa? Access to CRISPR is worldwide. So they keep making these announcements that, students are, look, I just showed you something on 60 Minutes where the students in this a high school in Atlanta, have singled out Lyme disease and have obviously the ability to stop it. So are we to believe that they can only do this for Lyme disease? So if that is the case, and we're all sitting here like, yo, if they could do that right now, you know somebody with cancer, you know somebody with this, that, the third. So obviously the thought is in your head, yo, so why doesn't, the reason your doctor is not presenting this as a viable solution is because it is not a viable solution that has been agreed upon by any medical board. The reason they're not doing that, in my opinion, is because, in fact, they have to build out the framework so that they don't lose any money on the table. Because at the end of the day, this is all about money. Caleb says, I just want 2 ambulatory wings coming out of my shoulders, blades, large teeth, and talons. Okay. I got something for Caleb. You guys that think I'm bullshitting, don't nobody go nowhere. Caleb, I got something for you. I got something for you. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's all fucking fun and games till somebody windpipe gets crushed because somebody's more genetically superior. Watch this. Gene-edited super soldiers with AI power could be unleashed by China, warns U.S. report. U.S. just reported this shit in 2025, but let me show you something, beloved. Let me show you something. 2025. I swear to God, I read this shit like 2016. What is this one right here? Snopes. Let's go here. Snopes. This is 2021. Is China genetically engineering super soldiers? Let's go back. I swear to God, I read this shit in like 2016. But let me just put in 2017, just in case I'm bugging. All of these are 2025, 2026. More results. I want to go back, way back into time. The theory of China's super soldiers Radcliffe concerns builds on. Here we go. Is CRISPR in use to create China's soldiers biospace? Boom. I see a couple of dates down there. Because, alright, so this article was written in 2020. Right? Never mind. Stop. Listen, man. You guys gotta get your head out the fucking sand. Now, I could have just went back to the Montauk Project on you, but then that kind of puts me in a fringe conspiracy theory. I didn't want to do that. I'm just letting you know I have the ability to go into certain topics when I'm talking to you. I purposely don't a lot of times, depending on the temperament of my conversation. I purposely will avoid certain things that I can tap into. But if you give me the layup, I'm going to slam dunk that bitch. So you said you wanted what? You wanted some wings and talons and all of that? It's all fucking fun and games till somebody gets an eye poked out. Is CRISPR in use to create China super soldiers? I read this shit, like I said, in 2015, 16, that China was creating a super soldier. Has China found, and I doubt I'm going to find that article. So let me just tell you ahead of time what they were doing. They were creating a callous bone on the soldiers. So they were using DNA to densify the bone structure on these people, genetically modified people. So their breastplate was almost like they wouldn't even need a bulletproof vest because the bone would be so hard and dense. Yeah, there's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that they announce, but because they announce so many things at one time, it will fly over your head. Like, one tactic is to announce something like this, but then somebody will hire an actor to smack another actor at the awards in his face. Then we'll end up talking about that for 3 weeks, and then stories like this will get lost. So only if you have the ability to see through your peripheral, your 6 o'clock, you gotta know what's going on. This is why I go out my way to avoid intelligent, draining conversations, topics. I don't be wanting to. It's not that I feel that I'm better than you or these people. Someone said, though, you got to start thinking like you are better than these people because you are. They said that to me, and I said, I don't know how to feel about that. But in a way, now I'm like, nah, you are. Like, now that I'm realizing that most people are more satisfied with dumbing themselves down as long as someone pats them on the back and say, I like you. I'll give you a like. Let me hit the like button. Yeah. And then it's this euphoric bubble that you're in that you're like, I'm the man. You're the man. You're the man. Everybody knows me. I'm popular. Hit the like button. That's where they want people like you that could garner attention. They want you to open up your mouth and say hours worth of fucking nothing. That's what you're good for. You're the man, baby. You're the man, Stan. Has China found a super soldier formula through the capabilities of genetic engineering? A U.S. government official claims China's super soldiers are under development. Has China discovered? Yeah. Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe penned an op in the Wall Street Journal that claims the Chinese government is attempting to enhance the capabilities of soldiers through genetic engineering. It is not the first time such a claim has been made. Ratcliffe's article, cited in an NBC report, outlined his belief that China is the greatest threat to the United States in the terms of military and economic power. Ratcliffe's concerns build on theories raised in 2019 about China's capabilities with CRISPR, particularly after Chinese researcher He Zhengku, the one I just told you about, used CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing to alter the DNA of embryos for 7 couples in 2018. He went to jail for 3 years. That's why nobody else is doing it. Either they're going to get smoked or they're going to get sent to prison. He was a warning. Don't get out here and do this shit. Right? Leave this to us because we plan to make money off this shit and control the people. What they're going to end up doing is exactly what the storyline of The Walking Dead is suggesting. They're going to fuck up somehow and there's going to be zombies walking all around this bitch. And that's why the United States actually has a protocol for dealing with the zombies. Don't play with me. Play with fucking Lotto. You understand? Got Boondocks in the building. And we're done today. We're done today. I can only give, I did 2.5 hours. You understand? So if I started at 7:30 almost, 2.5 hours, yeah, we're done, baby. That's our show. Hopefully everybody hit the like button. I'm going to get up out of here with some music, though, off the new album. I'm trying to get the album out and hopefully... Listen, this is what I can say about the album, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, to be quite honest with you, I just put out the Black Walnut Cloves and Wormwood Tincture. That's out right now. You can look in the description and hit the link and order yours right now. Right? So, digestive concerns, right? You want to address that? Go ahead and hit the link on that. So, when I told you, like, yo, I got a lot going on, I just don't talk about it, right? So, I don't know. I'm trying to get this album out, though. What's this song right here? Oh, that doesn't matter. See? Hold on. That doesn't matter. Let me see if I can play another joint off my album. Not that I know which one is going on my album yet. I haven't even come down to the finalization. Let's play this. This is like a hip hop joint, right?
Me and you, we can do some amazing things. Some amazing things. Me and you, yeah. We can do some amazing things. Yeah. Some amazing things. We both from the city, same city as Frank White, same city where the late night can give life, take life. Trains show off their artwork while the sirens sing lullabies. Bodegas is the meeting spot for all the hustlers in the corner, God. Take my hand, young Juliet, we escaping in the midnight. I got enough for a chopped cheese, 2 one-way flights. We gon' run and never look back, live free or die. We gon' show the whole world we were diamonds in the sky. Me and you, we can do some amazing things. Some amazing things. Some amazing things. Me and you, we can do some amazing things. Some amazing things. Some amazing things. I mean, what's really keeping us? The elevators don't work right. Trinitarios on my left, blood and Crips if I turn right. I wanna live with a doorman, and the building is all white. Best friend yelled domino, then laughed and said, yeah, right. We gotta get away, gotta get away, get away, gotta get away. We gotta get again, we gotta get away, gotta get away, we gotta get away, we gotta get away, we gotta get away, gotta get away, we gotta get away, gotta take my hand, young Juliet. We gotta run, I mean right now. I can't explain just exactly how, but I promise I'll figure out. Keep my pace, my everything. We gotta move, I mean move fast. I found a stolen car up the street. It only got like a quarter gas. That's Jersey where I'm pointing at. We could be there in a flash. Worry about food when we get there. I'ma sell this for extra cash. We took a chance on ourselves, took a chance with each other. Started as runaways from hell, we're destined to be lovers.
That is called Me and You. It is off my album. It will more than likely be on the album. You understand? If you have not heard, I am doing the album. It is a jazz, funk, and gospel album. I got, like, to be honest with you, maybe 1-2 hip-hop joints on there. But I do think that is going to be on there because that's more, it's like a love story from the ghetto, West Side Story, if you will, right? So, shout out to the Original Man. Original Man is in the building. Didn't even know you was here, God. Peace to the gods and the earths. So, don't you worry. I got more stuff coming, but do get your black. I'll put out. I gotta edit the commercial today, so you're gonna see the commercial for the black walnut, clove, and wormwood tincture. You're gonna see the commercial. That's what I'm gonna do when I get off of here, amongst some other things. Winter says she loves the vibe. She says it's not. I think it's important to be an individual. And that was snatched away, in my opinion, by the devil. Now, who could be the devil? They said the root of all evil is money. That's what they say. Well, when you flash money in front of the ghetto children, and all they ever wanted was to get out of the ghetto, and you flash money in front of them, and you show them videos when they get home from school, of, you know, people that look like them, but they got on Versace shirts, and you understand, $2,000 sneakers. They got big money hanging, and then you say, how did they get that? Well, they wrote some poetry. Well, it's not hard to figure out from that point what you got to do. You got to start writing poetry, my boy. But they don't want you to write any other type of poetry. Me and you know this. They wanted you to write this destructive poetry. But they didn't understand the actual science behind what was happening. The people that controlled the inspiration, the perception, they understood. They understood because they also understood something called Kabbalah, right? This is what they believe, right? So they understood the Kabbalah. They understood the energy of science, of the science of energy. They understood it. We did not understand it. We did not understand it, right? Because if they call it Kabbalah magic, then you get scared. You get nervous because you was taught not to believe in magic. And first of all, Jesus is your God and Savior. And ain't nobody gonna tell me about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ he hasn't taught you about Kabbalah. So it's easy to hoodwink you. It's easy to bamboozle you. But don't worry. You got me down here. They keep plucking people off. I'm not the savior. I am not the savior. But when I say you have me amongst others. There's others down here who will tell you the truth. Right? But they keep plucking us off. They keep throwing us in jail. They keep killing us. And they keep making it seem like we're the crazy ones. It's okay. If you get rid of us, there's just going to be more that pop up. It doesn't even matter. They're just, you keep killing us, we keep popping back up, whatever. So do subscribe to my channel, because I was sent to this earth on a mission, for a purpose, for a reason, and I will give you what I know. I can give you what I know. We can have those conversations. I will freely give it to you. I'm not going to charge you. I do like support. That is how a machine grows. But all in due time. When it's your time, it's your time. So if it was placed upon your heart to hit the like button, I think I also got a donation link in the same video description box. If you want to donate a couple of dollars, then you do that. Everything there can be trusted. I use Stripe. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I use Stripe because I find Stripe to be as a payment gateway system. So if you go in there and you're like, oh, I can't see your information. That's number one. That is going through Stripe. What it is giving me is what I asked for, which is your shipping address. Right? I'm not asking for your It's not me that's asking for your credit card information. I asked for a payment gateway. The payment gateway, they're asking for your stuff. And then what they're going to do is tell me, yo, this person paid the money. Don't worry about it. They paid it. Here's your money. Now send them what you said you was going to send them. And that's how that works. So I like Stripe versus the other payment gateway systems because I've been with them for a while. That's the real reason. And if you're with them for a while, they have certain benefits, right? You have to be with them for a while, or you have to make a certain amount of sales before you can get paid instantly. I've been with Stripe for quite some time now. Now I'm able to get paid instantly. When I first started with Stripe, I had to wait like 4 days and just to show my integrity and validity to make sure I'm doing business the right way. So I've been with Stripes quite some time. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. So this, this is my brand. This is my brand. And you're going to see a lot of my brand coming into 2006, 2027. You're going to see my brand take off because I'm being true to myself. And I'm being true to what I believe. And now that I know that there's a tribe out there, and I think it's more than a tribe. People just want the truth. These people are making it easy for me to just get up here and do what I do because they're doing reckless things, either in the government, either in medicine, either in science, either in the criminal justice. They are doing reckless things, and I'm just reporting on it. I'm just reacting to it and giving my sensible thoughts on the situation, and many of you are like, word, right on. And there we go. That's how we build a brand from the ground up, and you guys are gonna help me do this, which is I know is gonna feel amazing. For one, because I never gave up when it looked crazy, and for two, it gives hope that we're not going crazy, right? It's easy for them to use their Rupert Murdoch and the rest of them to use their ability to use the organized media that they buy. Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post. They can buy the media and then they can put out the messages that they want to put out, right? So it is very important as an independent. I don't know if I'm ready to call myself a journalist, because I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. But one thing I'm not going to do is get up here and tell you lies just for clicks. I'm not going to do that. So I am ready to say I am independent and I do give information. So whatever word we can create with for that, we'll do that. All right. That being said, society, thank you for coming out today. Each and every one of you. I'm not going to name names today. Roby says, yo, Roby, are you going to cop? Let me put you on the spot right now, Roby. Can I get a pledge out of you to cop one of these bad boys? Huh? Roby's out here talking about he has black walnuts all over the place. Can I get a pledge out of you to cop one of these bad boys? Let's play another song before I get out of here. All right, I just played you one of the hip hop joints. I just impromptu. I just said, you know what? Let's give him a jazz joint. Let's give him a good jazz joint before I get out of here. Now, there's a jazz joint I did. Yes, I Found Love on the 5 Train. There's 2 versions of this. Yes, I Found Love on the 5 Train. But this is the jazz funk version. It's the remix. So on the album, when you get the album, you're going to see Yes, I Found Love on the 5 Train, the original, and here is the remix. You're going to get the remix too. party people. I catch y'all tonight or tomorrow. You heard me?